Hey Dr. Weeks, this is Mr. I again. This time I got something new for you guys. We're gonna talk about a specific theme. I think you guys probably know what it is, but it also has a relationship to something else. Um, so all these cameras in here, right? All these cameras are to take pictures, right? If you know me, like you know that Mr. I loves to take pictures, right? So like that's one of my favorite hobbies. And I have different cameras, right? But regardless of like what they look like or the shape, how small, how big, it really doesn't matter, but they all have something in common, right? Besides taking the pictures, they have something in common that they need in order to function. I'm not talking about the battery, right? So like they all probably need some energy, right, in order to work. But let's assume that they don't need that energy and they're able to work without energy. Let's assume. Um, so they need something in specific in order to capture those images that we want, have photographs of. So I think I can give you a clue of what is it that they need. So I have like two examples over here. You see that? So a general word I'm looking for is all these cameras, in order to work, they need light. If they don't have light, or we don't have light, we will not be able to see any images, right? So if you're at home right now, please close your eyes and tell me if you see something. Probably not, right? Like when we have our eyes closed, we're not able to see anything. And when we open our eyes, we're able to see things, but it's because we have some type of light. There's different types of light. Our natural type of light during the daytime, right? It comes from the sun, right? And there's other type of light that's artificial. That means we make or produce light, right? Like electricity, when it hits this light bulb, transforms the energy into like a source of light. So it's artificial because we make it, right? Same thing with a flashlight. If you have a flashlight at home, that's a type of artificial light. So you're like, so the cameras need light, Mr. I, in order to work? They do. So I just took like one of these pieces right here from the camera, like this is a lens. This is what lets you see what you want to take the picture of. So like this is a smaller lens, but let's see what happens when I take this smaller lens, right? If you can see my finger, it's moving on the other side of the lens. You can see it because there's light. But now let's try to see what happens when I put a cover on top. Are you able to see my finger moving? No, you're not. That's because we just block the light, so that means there's absence of light. If we will have light, any type of light, like natural or artificial, we will not be able to know how things look like. We might be able to know how they feel like, but you will not be able to say like, oh, it looks like this, because your description will be mostly like by the sense of touch, right? So light is very important for us to capture details. And where am I going with this activity for today? We're not going to use any cameras, but you're going to make your own camera. So before these cameras were invented, right, long time ago, the idea came from like something very simple. How to like make an image, or how to try to capture an image, right? And the idea was very simple. This came from like a pinhole camera. So I don't know if you have heard that word before, but a long time ago, different scientists or people that were interested in making cameras, they developed these different models, and they all have like something in common. It was how to use light into a box and try to see an image of whatever is it that you're trying to aim the box to. Right? So that was the main idea that I started with. And today we're gonna do a pinhole camera. So I'm gonna move all these cameras from here because we don't need them. It was just to talk about cameras use light, and we need light in order to record images. Our eyes use light, right? So let me clean this up and I'll bring the other materials for you guys so we can start our activity. Alright guys, so we have all these tables cleared up and now we have new materials on there. As you can see, some of these ones are boxes and they're not filled with anything, they're empty boxes. So this one's like something that I had on my kitchen and basically it's empty. This one as well, and that was just a bigger box. It really doesn't matter how big the box is. I mean, preference, you probably want to have something like this one right here. This one, it's fine, but sometimes coming up with bigger boxes is a little bit more tricky. But any box will do. You also see some materials over here on the table that you can find at home. Some of them to be a little bit more sharp or pointy, that you have to be safe about it. So if you have an adult at home like mom or dad, you probably want them to help you out with those ones. Other ones you might be able to do it just yourself. Like this is a very well sharpened pencil, and I have a lead pencil too, and this one probably is a little bit better than that one because it has more of a pointy tip. And this one's a clothespin, tab, and a paper clip. This one's pretty good too if you have a paper clip at home. Alright, so any of those ones will do, or anything that has like a little pointy tip. Okay, what are we gonna do with these ones? So like, Mr. I, what are we using these boxes? Well, remember I told you about the pinhole camera? Well, the pinhole camera was developed in order for people to like record images, but in the very beginning was like kind of like to trace images. So like if you want to trace the image of something that you're seeing, and you will probably put a piece of paper inside of these boxes, and it will be like a big, really big box. It wouldn't be this size. It will be like really big boxes. So they will put this paper inside, and then on the opposite side, they will just puncture a hole on the cardboard or any box, that whatever material that was made of, right? So the thing is that when through that little hole, believe it or not, you will have a lot of light coming in through that hole, and on the paper you'll be able to see a reflection image of whatever it's in front of the camera. So if my camera is facing a window, I will be able to see the window on this piece of paper, right? So it's a little bit it's a little bit tricky. It's kind of like a magic trick in a way, because you're like, wait, how can an image go through a little tiny hole and then give you the image of whatever the camera is positioned to on this piece of paper? So we're gonna do that because it's a little bit difficult to explain it. And you're like, well, I want to see it, Mr. I want to see what you're talking about. So I'm gonna I'm gonna put a little tiny hole using a pen on this card box, okay? And once I have it in there, I'm gonna go way back in the room where I'm at. I'm not gonna try to see if I see the image of my windows, all right? So hopefully that's working. So let's see. I'm gonna puncture here the hole. Right? And one thing, you don't want to make the hole really big. You just want to kind of like the size of whatever pen is that you have, right? You don't need a big hole, because light will go through that hole and try to reflect the image. If you make too much or too big of a hole, too much light is gonna go in, and you're not gonna be able to see any image. All right, so we had a hole in there. Now we're gonna go back in the room and try to see if we can observe an image. All right, so let's see. All right, guys. So as I mentioned to you, so we're gonna try to see if this window that I have in the room, we're gonna be able to see it on like its reflection inside the box through the little tiny pinhole that we just put in there. Okay, so I'm gonna take the phone and I'm gonna try to put it inside the box, because when you're trying to look from the opposite side of the box, so like I'm gonna have the box positioned this way so it's facing the window. The hole is already on this side, but when you're trying to look over here, you have to make sure that you don't allow a lot of light in. So if you can close some of these leaves like this and put your face in here, looking inside, you might be able to see the image on this paper, okay, on the base. You might see the reflection. So like, we're gonna try that out, but I'm gonna put the phone inside so you guys can tell the detail, and you guys tell me if we can see an image, the reflection of the window. So if you see the window, you should see that it has a frame, right? So we should see something like that being reflected inside here, okay? So let me go and try to put this phone inside so you guys can see. So guys, I'm like looking through the Pinhole camera, and I can't see an image, but because of the camera from the phone, it's not really allowing you to see. But I'm gonna take a picture of it, and then I'm gonna put it in the video so you guys can see what I'm seeing from the other side of the camera. I can see the frame of the window. Through that little tiny hole being reflected inside. So my Pinhole camera, it's working. It helps if you put something like a blanket on top of you while holding the camera. So that you have like no light coming in inside. If you see over here, it's really, really dark, right? So it helps if you like cover yourself with like a blanket on top of the camera, but make sure you don't cover the little tiny hole. And it helps if you position the camera towards like a window. So something that's has a lot of light coming in. I'm doing it on the daytime because the sunlight is probably the best for this. All right, so I'll take a picture and I'll post it on the video so you guys can see how it looks inside, okay?